Everyone celebrates the brand you eventually become. But almost nobody prepares you for the identity you must rebuild first. Because broke isn't always about money. Sometimes it's clarity that's missing. Sometimes direction. Sometimes confidence slowly worn down by comparison, setbacks, or quiet self-doubt. And if you've ever felt like you have potential but can't yet translate it into momentum, you're not alone. You're not lazy. You're not incapable. You're not behind. You may simply be in what I call the invisible phase, where identity is forming before expression becomes visible. And this is where many people quit. Not because they lack talent, but because the silence between effort and recognition feels unbearable. You post, nobody responds. You try, progress feels slow. You dream, reality feels distant. And a dangerous narrative starts forming. Maybe I'm not meant for this. But here's the inner Lite truth. Before a brand becomes believable to others, it must become believable to you first. And that belief rarely arrives dramatically. It builds quietly. Sometimes so quietly you almost miss it. So stay with me, because understanding this phase could change how you see your entire journey. Here's what most success stories leave out. The biggest obstacle usually isn't opportunity. It's internal friction. When you don't fully trust your voice, your actions become inconsistent. When you fear judgment, creativity becomes cautious. When comparison dominates, originality slowly fades. And audiences feel that. Not consciously, but psychologically. People naturally gravitate toward clarity, authenticity, calm confidence. Without inner alignment, branding becomes performance. And performance is exhausting. This is why some people work incredibly hard, yet struggle to gain traction. Not because their ideas are weak, but because their identity hasn't stabilized. They second-guess messaging, dilute their voice, chase trends instead of expressing truth. And over time, that creates brand confusion. But the deeper cost isn't professional. It's personal. You hesitate more. You doubt more. You start feeling like success belongs to other people. And that's not a marketing problem. That's an identity problem. The good news? Identity work is quieter than branding work, but infinitely more powerful. And once that alignment starts forming, everything changes. Not luck. Not overnight virality. Not even talent alone. It's internal coherence. When who you are, what you value, and how you express it start aligning, momentum becomes natural. You speak clearer. You show up more consistently. You attract people who resonate rather than people you're trying to impress. And that's when a brand stops feeling forced and starts feeling inevitable. At Inner Lite, we emphasize something many overlook. Brand isn't logo first. It's identity first. Voice before visibility. Clarity before scale. Self-trust before public trust. And the process isn't glamorous. There will be slow seasons. Moments of doubt. Times quitting feels easier. But those phases aren't failure. They're refinement. Every strong brand you admire passed through seasons nobody applauded. The difference? They stayed. They adjusted. They learned. They kept showing up. Not perfectly, but authentically. And authenticity compounds. Just like habits. Just like growth. Just like trust. So if this reflection resonates with where you are, pause for a moment. Because the journey from broke to brand is rarely external first. It begins with internal permission. Permission to grow. Permission to evolve. Permission to trust your own voice again. Inner Lite Studio exists for people navigating exactly this space. Where personal growth meets creative expression. Where clarity shapes identity. And identity shapes impact. If you value conversations that go deeper than surface success, stay connected here. Not just for motivation, but for alignment. And here's something worth reflecting on today. Are you trying to build visibility before fully building belief? Because sustainable brands don't start with attention. They start with alignment. There's more depth ahead. more clarity, more honest conversations. So if this spoke to your journey, remain part of this space. And remember, the quiet inner work you're doing right now may feel invisible, but it is not insignificant. Keep going. Your brand may already be forming from the inside out.